I'm here with my colleague Ciara McKenna to discuss the EY Global Insurance Outlook for 2023. Ciara, I've been involved in the production of this report over the last number of months, but I'd really like to hear from you. What are the key themes that we're bringing to the attention of our insurance clients?
Sure, I think there are three key themes in the report. The first is the impact of macroeconomic and geopolitical uncertainty on insurance companies and what they need to do to address that. The second is the widening protection gap, and again, the opportunities and threats that poses. And then thirdly, the innovation agenda and what are the opportunities to address those two risks through innovation.
Ciara, let's spend a moment on the macroeconomic environment and within that both market impacts, inflation impacts, but also demand impacts. So share your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so we've been through a period of unprecedented change, increasing interest rates, increasing cost of inflation, and this has an impact on insurance companies, particularly for non-life companies. Whilst we expect core inflation to taper through 2023, that will have a continuing impact on the cost of insurance. In Ireland, we know that the government, through their action plan for insurance reform, is seeking to address that, particularly focused on reducing the cost of insurance and the availability of insurance.
Great, and actually that sort of points a bit of tension at the moment where you've got inflation on one side but trying to contain that cost.
Yeah, and I think in some ways we're in a bit of a waiting game while we see the data coming through over the next year or so, and whether that has had an impact.
So life insurance companies have already had the bad side of this with the drop in the asset values. Is there an upside?
There should be. So the upside for life insurance should come through higher investment returns as interest rates remain higher than they have been for a long period of time.
Fantastic. So the future is a little bit brighter, and in particular, maybe a return to guaranteed products, which became unavailable in a low interest rate environment. So, Ciara, that's actually a nice sort of segue to talk about the protection gap. Can you share some observations, both from a global context and maybe bring it back into a local context for what is an Irish protection gap? So, starting maybe internationally.
So we know that the protection gap has been there. In fact, it's widening. It's certainly a feature in underdeveloped economies, but maybe surprisingly also in large economies like the US. When we look more locally, I think the biggest area of concern in Ireland is around pensions, and this is where we see the government rolling out auto-enrolment pension schemes, and we should see some traction on that over the course of the coming months as the bills work through the Oireachtas.
That's going to be a really, really important feature for our population here in Ireland, and it does point to some of those key matters, which is cost-effective delivery and access, which actually is one of our final points of the report, which is about the technology and the enablement and capability of our financial sector.
Yeah, and I think as younger generations become the policyholders of the future, insurance companies will need to look again at what are the products that they're offering, how are they offering them, what are the underwriting models that are needed to deliver those products. So this is where the opportunity for partnerships with the likes of insurtechs is something that's going to be very interesting over the coming years.
Ciara, thank you very much for that. Our 2023 Global Insurance Outlook is available on our EY website.